When we talk about these future scenarios, where if you have runaway AI, there's always this discussion of like, well, let's put it inside of an air-gapped computer, and it won't like get out, right? Or we can always pull the plug. Let's just shut the thing down. We can always pull the plug. It's not going to be a big problem because we can always just turn the computer off if we have this runaway AI in the future. But the problem is, if you think about what that would be today, that would basically be like turning the lights off at Facebook. Now, it's not as if, from an existentialism perspective, as a human being, you can't like get out of your chair and walk out of the room in space and time and tell the board of directors, we're going to shut this thing off. You could physically do that, but there'd be consequences. And we can't turn off this system that we've created. So the only way to solve a system that's run away pursuing its own goals is not to manage your relationship to it. I'm saying this because I want to contextualize. A lot of people think of, if you've read any of the work that I've done, that it's about we got to better manage our relationship to our phones. Let's be more mindful with our phones. That's like saying when chess is kicking your butt, let's manage our relationship to the chess that's just totally overpowering where we are. So the only way to solve this problem is actually to put the AI on the same side of the table as us. We have to be really honest about what the lines of power are. So right now, the thing is pointed at us. It's extractive. It basically says, I need to extract as much attention out of you as possible. And the classic line is, it's a race to the bottom of the brainstem. So it's not enough that I offer you the product. I have to reach deeper down into the brainstem and create an unconscious habit, so now you actually pull for the phone more often. That's not enough. I have to reach even deeper down to the brainstem and own your social psychology, so the way that Snapchat basically owns people's social relationships. That's not enough. I have to reach deeper down to the brainstem and get to your self-worth and control your sense of how often people like your self-worth. So I told you I'd go dark. I apologize. So we have this extractive economy. And if you'll notice, it doesn't look that different from how the broader economy is structured when it's extractive. It's the same as the environment. We have a runaway system that makes more money the more you extract without putting something back in balance. So the fundamental situation here is we need to find a more ergonomic relationship with the boundaries of our architecture in the case of how it's extracting us. And if you don't care about us, let's talk about our kids, because this thing is just eating kids alive for breakfast. So we can do that. But I think that what this is about is just like the point where we were, where we realized, after we extracted coal and we created this incredible economic prosperity after generating energy with coal, but we also polluted the external environment. And no one really saw that at the time. Good-intentioned people created this bad stuff, and we just realized it later. And we're at that point where we're just realizing that this extractive attention economy, where we're capturing people's attention, is basically polluting the external environment. It's also polluting the inner environment. And now we need to invent solar and green, basically, solutions, like things that are regenerative or ergonomic or replenishing to the human being. So you can make all the same metaphors of the environment, right? And that's going to mean that things don't grow the same way. One of the reasons why advertising is such a great business model is because it grows incredibly fast and is super profitable. I mean, who wants Facebook to be regulated when the stock price is like through the roof right now? But also, who wants the changes that we're going to need to make for climate change for climate change to be abated, given that we're going to have to make huge sacrifices? And so the conversation actually comes back to values. It comes back to, am I willing to value something else besides money? Am I willing to value something else besides status? Now, this is an open question when it comes to corporations, who basically, they don't have control or choice. We created these robots called corporations that are just maximizing profit, and they have to. There's no way they can't do that. So we have to acknowledge when that misalignment exists. And it's the same for our own lives. Just because I can start a company, and my friends, I have friends personally who've sold a company for $1 billion. Now that's very seductive. We can be pulled. It's a magic trick. We can be pulled by basically other people's success or incredible amounts of money, right? But the conversation always comes back to, what do we care about? What is this for? What is the problem that this technology is the solution to? Why am I doing this? And if we ask those questions, that's really the essence of ethics.